All right, so I am recording now. So this again is just going to be more of a flexibility and mobility class. So I want you to start in a seated position here. Good. And you can do this with your shoes on and off. I'm just going to do mine with shoes off today. We're going to start sitting up nice and tall. Take a big inhale, reaching those arms up. Exhale, reach down. Inhale again, reaching up high to the ceiling. Exhale, reach out as long and as wide as you can. Again, inhale, coming up. Exhale, down. This next time, we'll inhale up. Grabbing onto your left wrist with your right hand. Exhale, lean over to the side and back up again. So leaning to your right, my left, and grabbing onto your left wrist with your right hand. One more time, big exhale as you lean to that side. Good. Going over to the other side, grabbing onto your right wrist with your left hand. Exhale and lean up to the left. Inhale to sit tall. Exhale over to the side. One more time. Big inhale, reaching both arms up again. Exhale all the way down. And we're just going to go to some nice gentle shoulder rolls. Up, back, down. Up, back, down. When you think about going down, you want to try to think about tucking those shoulder blades down into your pockets, your back pockets if you were wearing jeans with pockets. Up and around. We'll do two more. Big inhale for one motion. Exhale for the next. Just try to keep that breath nice and long. Good. We're going to open up those knees. Okay, toes turned out. I want you to bring your left elbow to your left knee. And we're going to take the right fingertips by the head. Just keep them there. And you're going to bring your elbow to the left elbow and then twist open. So your chest goes over to that right side of the room. Inhale as you twist open. Exhale to flex forward. Inhale and exhale. We'll do two more here. Inhale and exhale. We're going to come all the way up to sitting tall. You're going to place that right elbow towards that right knee. Left fingertips to the side of the head. Bring your elbow to your opposite wrist. And then open up. Think about touching the left shoulder blade to the wall behind you. Really twist it open. You're gently pressing down and out into your right knee with your right elbow. Inhale as you twist open. Exhale to flex forward. Two more. Last one. And bring it up tall. We're going to take those hands and grab around to the back or the bottom of your chair. If you want to pull up into your chair, helping yourself to sit tall. We're going to lift your left heel up and then pivot, bringing that knee down towards the floor. Inner thigh muscles, kind of pulling that knee in towards your chair and then come up. Lift your right heel up. And now that right knee goes down. We'll just keep alternating sides. You want to lift your heel so you can kind of pivot. And if you want to start rotating, you can take your whole pelvis and rotate it around the femur or the thigh bone of the side you're going to. So my right thigh stays there, my pelvis rotates. Come back up, or if you just want to keep the mobility happening just in the hip sockets here on each side, you would not do any rotation with the pelvis. We'll do two more each side. Exhale, inhale, or vice versa. Just make sure you're breathing. Good. And let's bring those legs together. One leg is going to be straight out. I want the toes turned up towards the ceiling. opening up to a big T position and flexing at the shoulders, reaching forward out through past that toe. Sit up and open up the arms to a T. Exhale, flex and reach forward. Inhale up tall. When you go forward, you're trying to hinge at the hip joint. We're not necessarily rounding over yet. Just reaching out with a nice straight back, open to that T. 2 more. Exhale forward. Inhale up. And up. Good. We're going to switch that out. Other leg. Toe turns up. Heels digging down into the floor to a T. Flexing forward. Opening up tall. So I'm going to turn my chair so you can see from the side. Reach past those toes. Come up tall. Keeping that spine nice and long. We'll do 2 more here. Big spine stretch forward. Last one. Good. All right, so we're going to do a little seated cat-cow. Just hands are going to wrap around the front of your knee. I want you to drive your pelvis and your rib cage forward, your chest forward, and then look up towards the ceiling, arching your back. And we're going to do the opposite now. You're going to bring your chin to your chest, press your upper back, middle back, lower back towards the wall behind you. And then inhale, open up. Exhale, flexing at the spine. Inhale, extending, chin up. Exhale, flex. I'm going to try to get as much motion as you possibly can, letting that pelvis down forward. And then tucking it under or back, if you will. 2 more of these. Inhaling as you go into arching. Exhaling into rounding. Good. All right, feet are going to be out, shoulder width apart. We're going to reach through our legs to the floor. So reaching down, try to touch those fingertips, and you're getting your hands as close to your chair legs as you can, and then come over to the floor. So we're not going out in front, in other words. We're going right down by our groin, looking at the floor, and then inhale to sit up again. So a seated forward fold, really rounding over. Legs are wide right now. Exhale, go forward. We're going to hold this one. See if you can get your palms to touch the floor. Fingertips will go to the wall behind you. Let that head just drop. Holding here for 5, 4. Keep inhaling and exhaling. 3, 2, 1. Roll it up to seated. We're going to do that spine stretch forward, but this time we're going to bring those knees together, feet together. And I want you to slide your ankles back a little bit behind your knees if you can. So now you can really push into the floor. Let's go from a big inhale, reaching up, sweep those arms out in front, and then round and over. Get those fingertips towards the heels. Inhale to come up. Big extension through the spine. Exhale, reach forward and then down, fingertips towards your heels. Inhale, up, ankles are still behind your knees, so you can really press down into the floor as you go forward with your torso. Inhale up once again. And then exhale, round it over. Good. All right, we're going to stay at the front of our chair with our ankles behind our knees, really working at flexing at the toes. And this will be one advantage of taking your shoes off, right? Because we have a shoe with that stiff bottom, oftentimes we can't really flex at the toe joints. We're getting as much motion out of the toes as possible, just sitting in our chair here. You can lean forward, elbows on your thighs if you want, just to put a little bit of extra weight into the foot, ankle, lower leg to get some good resistance there. Making sure that those ankles are not rolling apart as you lift up. In fact, try to imagine you got a little ball between your heels and you're squeezing that little ball with the inside of the heels. They may not come together, but you definitely don't want them to go wider as you go up. We're going to do 2 more here, flexing at the toes. And last one, good. We're going to still concentrate on our feet. So the ankles are still behind the knees. And I want you to push down with all 4 of your toes and try to lift your big toes up. If you can't lift them up, you can always hold down the little toes while you lift up, or you can even try to help them up. And then we're going to switch. Big toe down, little toes up. And again, switch again. Little toes down, big toes up. You might need to push them down with your fingers or pull your big toes up with your fingers. And then switch again. Big toes down, little toes up. Again, maybe you have to pull them into their spot and then try to get your muscles to hold them there. One more time. Little toes down, big toes up. Last time, big toes down, little toes up. And I'm just kind of wiggling out, marching out a little bit. We're going to bring ourselves up to standing. We're still going to do a little bit of footwork. You may want to fold a towel if the floor is too hard for your foot. But we're going to work on flexing at the toe joint. Okay, instead of going into here, we're going to actually go in this position. So I want you to take 1 foot and step behind. You can do this seated still, but I like doing it standing because you can put a little bit more leverage onto the front of the ankle. So what's going to want to happen is your heel is going to want to flip out to the side. You're trying to avoid that. You want to put equal weight through the big toe and the pinky toe, and you're trying to, again, your ankle might be flexed here. You're trying to get it to straight, and you're kind of pushing down, loading as much as your ankle can tolerate. And then from here, gently try to curl your toes. So basically, you're driving your heel back again, gently putting some weight on there. You get to dictate how much load you put on the toe joint. And then let's go forward again. Driving that ankle forward. Your arch may cramp because you're not used to pointing your toes this much. And then just roll back again 1 more time, really curling those toes. And then step it forward. We're going to step back with the other foot. Okay, driving the ankle forward, tops of your toes, pressing towards the floor. Be careful that heel doesn't go wider than the ankle. And then we get into curling the toes. Just put as much weight as you can tolerate without any pain. And then again, forward, ankle forward, put some load into that shin, that front of that ankle. And then again, we'll curl the best you can. And then we'll just step it forward. And then I like to pedal it out. You're going to just bend one knee, push the other knee to straight. One heel comes up, straight leg, heel goes down, just alternating. Flexing again at those toe joints. All right, so we are going to stand with our feet pretty close to our chair. We're facing our chair back, using this for a little stability. We're stepping back into a nice long stride. We're trying to get our hips, knees, toes all in alignment. We are avoiding stepping back into a straight line, right? We want to make sure each foot, I always say, is on its own railroad track. And then from here, drive your front knee towards your chair so you feel like that's as far as you can go while you keep the back heel on the ground, okay? All right, so the arm of the back leg is going to stay on the chair. The arm of the front leg is going to come up into extension. You're pushing down into your chair, down into your legs, and driving your pelvis or your rib cage forward a little bit. But even though you're bringing it forward, you're still bracing through the front of that body. Take your gaze out and up to where the ceiling and the wall come together. I want you to hold this for a big inhale. Exhale. Inhale again. And exhale. Put that hand down to your chair. Now straighten out your front leg. And now we're going to work on bringing our chest and our face down towards our chair. Coming forward, hovering that face over the chair back. Check that your pelvis didn't rotate. Your hip bones are still both facing the same direction. So don't rotate towards the back leg. Keeping this leg as straight as we can. If you feel comfortable, you can slide your hands a little further down that shin if your chair's not in the way, or maybe slide it, maybe go to your chair seat, depending upon your chair. So we're just going a little bit lower if you want. Big inhale here. And then exhale, lift up through your upper back, coming up to nice and tall again. And then we're going to step it forward, doing that same thing on the other side. Start close to your chair back. Make a nice long stride back so that back heel can touch the floor and you feel a nice stretch. So that's how long you want your lunge to be. And again, your feet are in line with your each hip. And now bend that front leg till you get a nice stretch through that back lower leg. Good. And we're going to keep the arm of the back leg on our chair. Big inhale, reach up to the ceiling. Take your gaze forward. Drive your ribs forward. Exhale when you get to the top, and give me another couple inhales. And exhale long. Try to put equal weight on both legs. Inhale. Exhale. Bringing that back hand back down to your chair. Straightening out your front leg. And again, this is where you want our hip bones still facing the chair, hinging at the hips, so you feel a really big stretch. So my back is still straight. I'm not rounding over. You're taking your pelvis and bringing it towards the floor. So we tilt the pelvis forward. If you feel comfortable on your next exhale, you can bring your hands to your chair seat or down your leg if your chair's not in the way, or move your chair out of the way. Challenging a little bit more mobility and balance. Holding this for a big inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, leading with your upper back, come all the way up to standing again, and then step it forward. And just march it out a little bit. So we spend time in some of those postures instead of moving in and out. But if we're doing more flowing hatha yoga, we go in and out of them. All right, so we're going to do a little combo. All right, I'm going to cue right and left. I may not be facing the screen. You may not be facing the screen. If you want to, you can turn it so that your chair is here. That way you can just keep looking, and that no time is your screen behind you. I'm just going to always be side facing. It's a little easier, less confusing. But we're facing our chair back, using it for stability, right? Because it's a chair assisted class. We're going to take one step back with our right leg, a giant step back, okay? And now keep your left foot facing your chair, your left hand on your chair. Open your right hand over the right ankle, and I pivoted so the right toes are facing the right side of the room. You've still got your hand on your chair. So we're here in a little warrior one. See if you can take your hand away from your chair. You're opening up your arms into a nice big T position. If you can't quite do that, your hand comes back to your chair. Good. Holding this position here. Breathe out. You're just looking down. Make sure that that front knee, that left knee, is not going inward towards the right side of the room. You can see your big toe, right? And now we're going to go ahead and do a little side angle. Forearm can come to the chair, or left forearm can come to the left thigh. Reaching the right arm up to vertical. Challenge your balance by rotating your head and looking at the ceiling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Keep reaching those right fingertips up to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale. Now you're going to continue to reach up and use your torso to come back up to that T position or hand back on your chair. Still in this nice warrior position. You're going to lift your right heel up off the floor. Put your hand on the chair if you need it. Pivot, pivot, pivot. So your right heel is lifted. You're now facing your chair back again. Okay. And then from here, we go ahead and drive the back heel. You can rotate that back foot a little bit to get that heel down. Reaching both arms up. Take that gaze up towards the wall in front of you. Your hands can still be here if you absolutely cannot reach both arms up. Big inhale. When you're ready, exhale. Hands to your chair back. Pivot and lift that right heel up. Push off the right leg. Step forward. March it out a little bit. So we're doing more of a strength hold. Okay, when we're doing these positions. All right, so feet close to your chair. We are going to go to the left now. So left foot, step straight back from that left hip. Now we're going to keep the right hand on the chair. Look at your right knee. It is not inward. It is over the ankle. Open up that left arm and then pivot onto the ball of the foot on the left side. And you're pushing that leg out there. Your ankle should be directly underneath your left wrist. So you're not in this super narrow stance. You're in a really wide stance. Check your right knee again. It's not coming forward. Again, you can float the right hand away from your chair. Think about taking your upper back and pinning it to the wall behind you. Take a couple inhales and exhales. You're pressing through the outside of your left foot and pressing down through the whole right foot. From here, we're going to go ahead and hinge at our torso. Forearm can go to the chair or right forearm to your right knee. Reach the left arm straight up towards the ceiling and try to take your gaze to the ceiling. It's like you're reaching up, trying to stretch the ribs on that right side. Open them up. Big inhales, long exhales, strong legs here. Inhale. And exhale. Keep reaching to the ceiling. Bring those arms and that torso back up to that T position. Option. My right hand is still on my chair. Solid legs. Now you're going to lift your left heel up and pivot both hands to your chair. And then you step the left heel down. If it doesn't quite go, you can also rotate it again, just slightly out, but so that you can keep your hips still facing forward. So play around with that a little bit, okay? And then we're going to work on reaching out, pressing through those legs, reaching the arms to the ceiling. You can always have one hand still in contact with your chair if you need it. Take the gaze out and up to the wall in front of you. Big inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Hands are going to go to the chair in front of you. Lift that left heel. Push off that leg. Step it forward. Good. So those were a couple little strength postures. Just march it out a little bit. Good. So we're going to go ahead and use our chair just as a little guide here. We're not going to sit down in our chair, but we're going to do a chair pose in yoga, okay? Feet are going to be right underneath your hips, okay? And I just want the back of your knees or the back of your lower leg, whatever part of your leg touches, to be in contact gently with the chair seat. We're going to start to sweep our arms forward just at shoulder level as your hips go back. So we're in this position. So my knees are behind or just hovering over my toes. I'm not trying to go forward with my knees like this. That's why we want to drive the hips back. So we're in this position here. I want your left arm to go by your left ear, and I want the right arm to go by the side of your rib cage. Holding here. Breathe in, out. One more. In, out. Both arms in front of the shoulder. Inhale. Exhale to stand up out of that chair pose. We're going to do that again. Really challenging. If you need to go smaller range of motion, listen to your body. Sweeping those arms out in front of the shoulders, hips are back, and then find that hovering point. Draw your rib cage in towards your spine, holding here. Right arm comes by the right ear, left arm by the left rib cage, hold it here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, and stand up. Got to sweep the arms, that's okay, just wiggle it out. All right, so we're going to turn around and face your chair seat. We're going to do a standing little half fold. It's actually considered like a monkey pose. So basically, we normally come down and do a forward fold, and then we lift up to monkey pose. We're going to use our chair a little bit for balance or a little bit of stability. Feet are slightly away from your chair seat. We're going to work on rounding over our spine until your palms get onto your chair. And then what you're going to do is you're going to lengthen your spine. Tailbone goes to the back of the room. Lift your upper back towards the ceiling. Okay. And just holding this from here, you can bring your hands wherever they lay on your legs. They might be your knees, your shins. If you can go a little lower without rounding your back over, give it a try. This is your little halfway lift or monkey pose, holding here for a couple inhales and exhale. So instead of moving in and out and flowing, we're just, again, getting familiar with some of these postures. And then we're going to round our back over and roll it up to standing. And now we're going to try to go a little bit further down to our forward fold. If you feel comfortable, walk away from your chair because your head may go down to the chair seat. You always have your chair if you want to put your hands on it. Otherwise, you're going to try to take those fingertips and just slide them down, rounding your spine over. That means you have to look in between your legs. This is an inverted posture. If you get lightheaded, just come back up. Take a couple deep breaths in and out. We're going to try to hold this forward fold. See if you can cross those lower arms over, grabbing onto the opposite upper arm. On your next exhale, see if you can get to top of your head to rest on your forearms. Anytime you need to come out of it, the next step is we're going to actually sway left to right. I always think about like seaweed in the water, just going left to right, but it's still grounded with your legs, with the roots. Just swinging gently, rotating to the right a little, rotating to the left, micro bend in the knees to take the pressure off of that lumbar spine a little bit. And now unfold your arms and then roll up one vertebra at a time. Good. Look at the wall in front of you. Take a couple deep breaths in and out. Roll those shoulders back and down. Exaggerate your strong posture. Good. So we're going to go into a forward fold, okay, a halfway lift, and then into a chair pose. So here we go. We're going to roll down, forward fold. Let the body hang. Halfway lift or monkey pose. Get the back flat. Back of your upper back goes to the ceiling. Nice flat back. We're going to bend the knees. Hips go back. Arms swing out in front. Hold your chair pose for 4, 3, 2. Reach the arms up, stand up out of it. Big inhale at the top. Exhale, sweep those arms out and down. Round it over again to forward fold. Inhale when you get to the bottom. Exhale, halfway lift into monkey pose. Inhale to hold it. Exhale, sweep those arms forward in front of the shoulders. Sit in your chair pose. Inhale to hold. Exhale, reach to the ceiling. Inhale to hold. Exhale, come all the way forward, fold again, all the way down. One more time. Inhale to hold your forward fold. Exhale, halfway lift, palms on the legs, chest lifted. Inhale to hold. Exhale, sit in your chair pose. Sweep those fingertips forward. Inhale to hold. Exhale, stand all the way up, reach to the ceiling. Inhale to hold. And then the arm just come down to the side with an exhale. Nice job. All right, grab a little sip of water if you need it. We're gonna go back to doing some of those things on the chair. Okay, so we were in our warrior 2. When we're standing, loading the legs, it's gonna be a little bit easier. We're gonna use the chair to help us, but still get in that nice long position, okay? The problem with the chair is you can't shift your pelvis as easily, but you still want to kind of find that position where it's comfortable for your pelvis. Everyone's, ability to move their thigh and their hip is a little bit different. So when you're doing yoga, or those of you that are going to watch this later on, and you're teaching yoga, you should never really tell someone they have to try to keep their force their hips here, force their hips here. It's kind of figure out what feels best. You can give those cues, but then let everyone kind of wiggle around to what feels comfortable. All right, so we are going to sit so that one glute is on your chair and the other glute is off the chair. We straighten out that leg. So again, the toe is facing the front of the room. And then this leg, we just want to open it up to wherever feels comfortable for us. When we're standing, we are trying our hardest to do like a heel to heel alignment or a heel to the center. Like if I did a line here on the chair, I just want you to go wherever feels comfortable because you're sitting. You can't adjust your pelvis as well. But that toe is kind of angled. You're just not going to be perfectly straight like this, right? My knee out there. So it can be at an angle. That's fine. All right, so lifting up through the spine, we're gonna open out those arms to that T position, really working those posture muscles to keep you up. This time we're gonna do a reverse warrior. So we're gonna bring our hand down the outside of the stretched out leg, and we're gonna reach the other arm up and look out those fingertips. You're reaching just straight up. Take a big breath in, expand your ribs. And exhale, hold it. Inhale again. And then exhale, bring that torso back up, arm into that T. Inhale to hold. Bending your arm of your bent leg, resting over. You're going to do that extended warrior, holding here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, you can look to the ceiling if you want, or look at the wall in front of you. Exhale, we're gonna stay here. We're gonna unload that arm, and we're gonna try to drop the arm to the inside of that lower leg, elbow and wrist, right? Elbow is inside the knee, wrist inside the ankle, and now twist open, look up to the ceiling if you can. Inhale to hold. Exhale to hold. Inhale to hold. Exhale, come up with that torso. Good. Both hands are going to come together. You're going to pivot. Actually, before we go together, we're going to use our arms. We're going to push down into our chair seat, and we're going to pivot that back leg, right? So it's not on here, but we're loading that back foot, pushing down, using the chair. Instead of holding ourselves in this low lunge, we're using the chair. And then we're gonna go ahead and reach out, come into wherever your body lets you get into extension in your spine. Inhale to hold, look out and up. Exhale to hold. Inhale to hold. And then exhale, hands back to your chair seat. Pivot that back foot, and then just walk everything in, okay? So we're gonna do everything on the other side, okay? So we're going to work on extending the other leg and sliding that side of the pelvis off the chair. And you turn the toes facing forward, just as if we were standing, right? And we're pushing through the outside leg. We're just not up as much. And now we play around with what feels best. That'd be the same if we were standing. We're kind of moving our pelvis a little bit. You're moving your thigh around, okay? And then when you're ready, give that torso stacked over the pelvis. Open those arms out to that T. Remember, we're all stuck in this forward flexion too much. We're just working on extending. You should feel all of this opening up. Good. We're going to go ahead and do a reverse warrior, hand down the outside of that straight leg. Reach the other hand straight up to the ceiling. Look out those fingertips if you can. Big inhale to hold. Long exhale to hold. Inhale again. And exhale, bring that torso back up to sitting tall. Good. And we're going to go ahead and do that little angle, same elbow on the same knee. Reach up and then see if you can reach out so that there's a nice straight line going down that side of your body. Good. You can take the gaze up to the ceiling or the wall in front of you. Big inhale. On your next exhale, I want you to straighten out the arm. Bring the inside of the elbow to the inside of the knee, the back or the outside of the elbow to the inside of the knee, and then the back of your wrist to the ankle. And now try to reach a little further with that top arm. Big inhale to hold here. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. And now exhale, use that core to come all the way up. Good. So we're going to bring our hands to our chair. We're pivoting this back foot so that we get onto the ball of the foot, and then we shift over a little bit. The majority of your thigh is on your chair. We're still pressing down, even though we're using the chair to help us. We're trying to get this knee from bent to straight, really strengthening the front of the thigh, the back, really stretching out. Now from here, you push yourself up or reach out and up to wherever your back says that's it. Look out and up a little bit. Inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale. And exhale, hands back to your chair seat. And then carefully bring yourself back to a seated position. Should really feel that through the groin, right? Through the pelvis. All right. So we are going to go ahead and cross the outside one ankle over the outside of the knee. We're not crossing our legs all the way. We're going to just bring up and push in, whatever your hip will allow you to do in this position, okay? Now I want you to rotate towards that knee, that side of that knee. Mine is my left, yours might be your right, and you're going to bring that opposite elbow to the outside of that knee. And now bring your palms and your elbows together and keep twisting over to that side. Big stretch. Big torso rotation. Look over your back shoulder if you can. And then release, bring everything back to the front, relax those arms, uncross that leg. And again, we're going to try that same thing on the other side. If this is too high for your hip, you can always lower it down as needed, or you can just even cross the ankle is another modification. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and rotate towards that front leg. Try to get the outside of the opposite elbow to the outside of that knee, and then bring both elbows towards each other, palms, and then look over that back shoulder, really twisting through your spine. Sit up as tall as you can. Inhale, exhale, one more time. Inhale and exhale. Bring everything back to the center. Open those arms and uncross those legs. Good. All right, so we are going to, just because this is a home class and most of you have said you're okay with getting on the floor, we are going to get on the floor and we are going to lay face up. If you need a pillow underneath your head or underneath your knees, and I'm going to play our little meditation one. You guys have heard this before, just to have our person bring us through some different breathing. So we are going to do the breathing in and out one, a guided, short, gentle body scan. So we're going to listen to Fabio. That says to hear. I'm going to pause for a second and let you guys get settled. If you don't feel comfortable laying on your back, you can go ahead and just sit in your chair. Okay. It's just going to be a progressive body relaxation. I'm going to end up leaving my phone by my computer so you can hear this. All right, so here we go. Oops.
Thank you for finding some time to join me today. Even this brief body scan can make a big difference in how you will feel after it. You can close your eyes now and inhale slowly and deeply. Make some adjustments to feel more comfortable. And on your next exhale, notice which areas of your body are drawing your attention. People are all different, and the way you are made and the way you move throughout the day might result in using some parts of your body more than others. And as you keep breathing slowly, you can feel your whole body. We can start by bringing your attention to the crown of your head, the tallest point of your body. And begin to come down slowly, noticing your forehead. With your eyes still closed, you can gently frown or move your eyebrows up and down to feel the small muscles releasing any tension. And as you feel the air flowing through your nostrils, you move your palm to relax it, especially the back of it, so it does float in your mouth. And as you separate your teeth, you feel your jaw unclenching on both sides. And you can bring your awareness to the back of your neck. A deep inhale and a slow exhale melt all the tension away. And as your shoulders slowly lower, you can feel your upper back, and your chest rises and falls with every breath. And while you become more and more aware of your body, you can start feeling your heartbeat rippling through your chest, your arms, your palms, your fingers, and you might feel tingling or numbness. And as you keep breathing deeply into your belly, you feel your abs and lower back moving with every breath. And you feel the weight on your hips, connecting your upper body with your lower body, your glutes, your groin, your inner thighs. Spend a moment to feel your quads in equilibrium with your hamstrings, your knees, which support you, your calves, often carrying some of the legs tension. And as you slightly slow down your breathing, you can feel them in balance with each other and with your shins. Now bring your focus to your ankles. You might feel some tingling or numbness. And as you bring your awareness to where your toes connect to your feet, you start noticing the soles of your feet, which carry your weight during the day. And as you notice which parts are tenser, you can breathe in deeply. And as you exhale, you can find how some small movements can relax them. And you can start taking 3 deep breaths while you follow my voice. You start feeling your whole body. You can notice how you're more aware of it now. And how the areas that were tenser before feel different right now. The more you practice, the more you will be able to relax your body without even thinking of it. I hope this makes you feel better and better every day. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. See you soon. Good luck.
We are done. Hopefully that was good.
It was good. Thank you, Jenna.
Yes, yes.